Hello and welcome to episode 114 of WITM. After taking about a week and a half break due to somehow getting a week ahead of the real life WWE schedule in universe, we are back, and we are back with the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. We have two Hell in a Cell matches for you on the card tonight. The first of which is a continuation of a long-standing rivalry that has been going on pretty much since Gerald made his debut in WITM in mid-season 3 on Monday Night Raw. The rivalry between Gerald and The Miz. Gerald was just one match away from facing AJ Styles tonight for the WWE Championship, but on the previous SmackDown Live, it would be his rival The Miz playing spoiler and defeating him to, of course, cause Gerald to slide down the rankings. Tonight, they face off inside the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. Gerald frustrated that he's not getting a WWE title opportunity. Miz frustrated that despite being number one contender to the U.S. title, he is not getting a title opportunity yet. The U.S. title is not on the line tonight. And then, for the first time since the month prior to WrestleMania, it's going to be WITM member versus WITM member in a singles match, as the Chosen Warrior Corey is going to take on the premier talent Dalton Roush, making his return to pay-per-view, and they too will face off inside the Hell in a Cell. Now, for Gerald and Miz, there's really no build-up needed. As I mentioned, their rivalry has been going on since mid-season 3. For Corey and Dalton Roush, however, this match was kind of booked last minute by General Manager Baron Corbin, and right now, before we get into our in-ring action, we're actually going to show you how this match came to be, as we start off with Dalton Roush heading to the ring to air out some of his grievances.
Uncle Sam taught him to shoot maybe a little too well. Finger on the trigger, loaded, ballin'. He hit the stick so full of rage and let the whole world know it. 6 feet away they heard him say, oh God, don't let him pull it. Please God, don't let him pull it.
The premier talent Dalton Roush has made his way to the ring. What does he have to say? When I decided to leave Hollywood full-time and come to the WWE, I came to WWE because I wanted a chance to be in the highest profile matches against the best superstars WWE has to offer. That's why I'm called the premier talent. And if you take a look at the rankings, you can easily see that I have earned that right to compete in the main event tonight against the man I once filled in for in the Shield, the Universal Champion Dean Ambrose, for the title. Dalton referencing the fact that he is in the rankings listed as the number one contender to the Universal title. Yet apparently Braun Strowman is allowed to skip the line as the Money in the Bank contract holder, and our new acting general manager, Baron Corbin, is just going to ignore the rankings. I'd even be content with a triple threat match with Ambrose and Strowman for the Universal title, but instead, I, the rightful number one contender to the Universal title, is off the Hell in a Cell card completely. You know, if I knew I would have been treated like this, I would have just...
A revolution lies inside. I'm alive.
Corey, the chosen warrior, has made his way to the ring. He is going to address Dalton Roush. Yeah, stayed in Hollywood. We know Dalton. But to the point. Dalton, I respect you. After all, we both come from the same place, the WITM School of Pro Wrestling. But if you think I am going to have sympathy for you not having a title match tonight, after you went to Hollywood and then came back and won one match, you can think again. You're seriously upset that you won one match and you aren't getting a championship match? Try grinding all the way from the bottom for 1.5 years to get to the Universal title. Then you lose it one day later. Now, I'm not making any excuses, but with Strowman being allowed to jump the line and our new acting Roger manager Baron Corbin not booking a Universal title match for Super Showdown in 3 weeks, who knows when I'll have an opportunity to get a rematch. But rest assured, I will get my rematch, and I will be a 2-time Universal Champion, whether that be in 2 weeks or 2 months. So Dalton, I suggest you get in line. After all, you can always go back to Hollywood for a little bit. The new acting Roger manager Baron Corbin has made his way to the ring. He's going to address the remarks of both Corey and Dalton Roush. Well, that's just great. Here I am trying to run my first ever pay-per-view as acting Roger manager, and 2 of my superstars are out here whining and complaining instead of just admitting to their failures. Corey, you think I'm going to reward someone who has proven themselves to be a failure following your fluke victory at SummerSlam for the Universal title? And Dalton, Braun Strowman earned the right to a Universal title match way before you did. Maybe if you weren't busy in Hollywood making lousy action movies, you could have won the Money in the Bank contract instead. But I'll tell you what, if you 2 want to let loose your frustrations, well, why not do that? Locked inside the Hell in a Cell. That's right. I'm putting you 2 against each other in a friend versus friend, WITM graduate versus WITM graduate, Hell in a Cell match later on tonight. That'll teach you to question my authority again. Apparently my game just froze up, so I guess enjoy Baron Corbin's theme for a little bit longer while I reload the game.
All those
Alright, so we have 9 matches altogether on the card, 2 of them being WITM matches. We have 7 matches, including our 2 WITM matchups on my main save. And on the backup save, we have our first 2 matchups. First up is Daniel Bryan, accompanied by Brie Bella, taking on Rusev, accompanied by Lana, in a non-title match from the SmackDown brand. And that match is going to be won by Rusev, accompanied by his wife Lana, defeating Daniel Bryan, accompanied by his wife Brie Bella. Next up, we have our first title match of the night. Peyton Royce, accompanied by her Iconics partner Billie Kay, takes on Mandy Rose, accompanied by her friend and former Absolution partner Sonya Deville, with the SmackDown Women's Championship on the line, and Peyton Royce is going to remain the SmackDown Women's Champion. Alright, now we can move on to our main save, where we will find our 2 WITM matchups. And let's get this show started.
And we're starting this card off with some fireworks. Let's do this.
Sit tight for singles action coming up next.
Alright, our first title match on the main save is once again a women's matchup. Alexa Bliss is going to defend her Raw Women's Championship. She's going to be accompanied by Mickie James and Alicia Fox. She's going to be taking on Nikki Bella, accompanied by her sister Brie Bella. And Alexa Bliss is going to remain the Raw Women's Champion, defeating Nikki Bella. And now, finally, we have our first in-ring action of the night. The rivalry continues between the Laughing Evangelist Gerald and the A-lister The Miz. Now they take their rivalry inside the Hell in a Cell. Let's get this match loading up.
Ladies and gentlemen, in a few short moments, we will witness hell on earth, and it won't be pretty. I can tell you that.
It's The Miz taking on some tough competition.
Alright, these men have had a rivalry for quite some time, usually with titles and contenderships to titles on the line, ever since mid-WITM Season 3. Recently, this was no different. Gerald came into the Go Home SmackDown Live 5 days ago on the Universe calendar, the #1 contender to WWE title, en route to take on AJ Styles for the WWE title tonight. He had just one last hurdle, and that was a singles match against his rival, The Miz. However, in dominant fashion, The Miz would defeat Gerald to play the role of spoiler, and thus Gerald finds himself out of a WWE title opportunity. The Miz frustrated as well. He's the #1 contender to US title going into this pay-per-view, yet SmackDown General Manager Paige has not booked a US title match on the card, and so he too does not find himself in the match he was hoping to be in heading into this pay-per-view. They'll air out their frustrations and continue their rivalry against each other inside the Hell in a Cell. Let's get our first of 2 matchups tonight underway.
Quiet on the set. Can we please have quiet on the set?
Awesome! I came to play. There's a price to pay. Time for you to get down on your knees. I came to say goodbye to the good old days.
The following contest is a Hell in a Cell match. Making his way to the ring, residing in Hollywood, California, weighing in at 221
And to be honest, being so close to this gigantic structure is making it a little difficult for me to concentrate.
And a win here would go a long way in proving he's as good as he says he is.
Sounds like you're doubting him, Cole. Let me tell you something. You never want to doubt this guy. Trust me.
Try and play that game. Every day that I get better, I'll watch as you get worse. My script is to the letter, and I'll write your final verse. I am here to stay. Yeah.
And his opponent, from Charlotte, North Carolina, weighing in at 225 pounds, Gerald.
As we prepare to get started here, just take a look at the size of this gigantic Hell in a Cell.
And I think we should recognize just how courageous these superstars are to even compete in such a demonic match.
Guys, I'd say these superstars look more than ready to get this match started.
I'd agree with that, Cole. And it sounds like this arena is right there with them. They are absolutely electric right now.
That's quite enormous, to say the least. Our God is a beast, his rap is the sound of a lion roaring. Since he's top but none, I'm on hip-hop, struck lines.
All right, there's the bell. The cell has been lowered. Let's continue this rivalry inside the sadistic Hell in a Cell structure.
I heard San Antonio this loud was when we were last here for the Royal
Miz.
Rumble.
One-handed slam by Gerald. Stomp to the chest. Axe handle and clothesline to the back of Miz by Gerald. Gerald wasting no time. He's headed to the outside. What does he have in mind here? This is a no disqualification match. Could he be looking for a weapon, perhaps? And as Miz taunts in the ring, Gerald is going to grab a baseball bat. But Miz is going to grab that for himself. Gerald will punch it right out of the hands of the Miz. Gerald looking for a cross body, caught by the Miz. Miz with an axe handle to the head of Gerald, trying to reopen that wound he opened on SmackDown Live, leaving Gerald heavily busted open.
The only damage he walks away from this match with, Cole, he should consider himself very lucky.
Gerald is going to avoid the diving attack.
Not going to happen. Not when you're inside the cell.
Gerald with a series of kicks to the chest of Miz. And Gerald's going to take a bow as Miz heads to the corner and try to get back to his feet. Miz. Or rather, Gerald with a clubbing blow to the chest. Just a kick to the back. Gerald
Nice move.
plunging the chest of Miz into the canvas, now forcing Miz to his feet. Gerald wants Miz on the ropes, so what's he have in mind here? He's going to launch Miz halfway across that ring,
There's no way to prepare
using the
yourself
top
for the
rope.
mental
Miz gets back to his feet and reverses.
competing in a Hell in a Cell.
There's a boot straight to the head of Gerald, giving Gerald a little taste of his own medicine with that big boot straight to the face. Now Miz taunting, and there's a clothesline just sending Gerald on the outside. He'll be joined there by Miz. Actually, not quite yet. Miz wants to
Showing how
do an attack off the apron. Running forearm, I believe, may have just grazed Gerald. There's a series of elbows by Gerald. Punch straight to the back. Irish up into the ring post, so that's going to reopen that wound from SmackDown Live. Gerald is busted open. Kick to the back. Stomp to the arm. Gerald forced to a knee.
He gets him with a
Reversal by Gerald. Gerald with a punch. Has Miz up against the middle rope. And Miz is going to raw the way and evade. But eats a big boot by Gerald. Gerald wasting no time. He knows that he's bleeding and needs to control the pace of this match and likely end it quickly. Will this do it? There's a spear, center ring.
Oh, man, I thought...
No, Miz powers out at 2, and Gerald in disbelief. There's a stomp to the leg.
And now he goes...
Gerald again plunging the chest of Miz into the canvas.
No, reverses it.
Miz gets back to his feet with a reversal.
Great effort, but he'd better save something for later.
There's a
in the
neck
match.
breaker by Miz. Gerald forced to his feet again.
Wow, an A-list knee strike by the Miz.
Running drop kick by
That
Miz.
was both a quick and powerful
Miz
strike, guys.
targeting that bloodied head of Gerald, trying to use the same strategy he used on SmackDown Live, where he picked up a decisive victory over Gerald to spoil his WWE Championship hopes. Gerald looking for skull-crushing finale.
Familiar.
Instead, the ultimate insult, hitting Gerald with his own finisher, the spear, and Gerald is going to be defeated by his own finisher. The ultimate insult used by The Miz, using Gerald's own finisher against him to end the matchup, and I have a feeling this rivalry is not going to be coming to an end anytime soon after that huge insult, courtesy of The Miz.
Quiet on the set. Can we please have quiet on the set?
I came to play. There's a price to pay. Time for you to get down on your knees.
Here is your winner, The Miz.
That's a win you remember for a long time. Wow, I can't believe the amount of punishment that had to be inflicted in order for those shoulders to stay down for the 3 count.
And guys, that's exactly the type of action viewers come to expect here at Hell in a Cell.
All right, the frustration, this rivalry coming to a head inside the Hell in a Cell, and Miz showing he has absolutely no respect for Gerald. Which the ultimate insult to another wrestler, other than pulling off the mask of a luchador, is to use their own moves, especially their own
We'll see if the next match can equal
finishing
that last
maneuver
one.
against them. That is what The Miz did to put away Gerald, hitting Gerald with his own finisher, the spear, and that would be the move that put away Gerald and earned The Miz a victory at Hell in a Cell. And like I said before, all signals point to this rivalry continuing on into the future, this rivalry that's been going on since mid-season 3. But following that, Hell in a Cell rolls on. We have a matchup for the Raw Tag Team Championship between an unlikely tag team who's had a very impressive reign as tag team champions, the Revival. They're taking on the Authors of Pain, Akam and Rezar, with their surprising new general manager, or rather surprising new manager, the general manager of 205 Live, Drake Maverick. And the Revival will continue their unlikely and impressive reign as Raw Tag Team Champions, defeating the Authors of Pain. Next up, we have another Tag Team Championship defense, this time the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. Sandy, who have been dominant on any show they've been on, still NXT Tag Team Champions, holding the same NXT Tag Team Championships they defeated Andrew and Austin Aries, the Counts with Guns, for way back in Season 3, and also SmackDown Tag Team Champions, defending against the Usos. And the Sandy will remain SmackDown Tag Team Champions, defeating the Usos. Next up, we have the match that Gerald almost was a part of. AJ Styles defending his WWE Championship against Shinsuke Nakamura. And AJ Styles is going to remain the WWE Champion. So far, all champions have retained tonight. And next up, for the first time since the month leading up to WrestleMania, it's WITM member versus WITM member in singles action. They too will do battle inside the Hell in a Cell. Let's get our second and final matchup of the night underway. Well, at least loading.
Ladies and gentlemen, in a few short moments, we will witness hell on earth, and it won't be pretty. I can tell you that.
We have one of our breakout talents taking on some tough competition.
This Hell in a Cell has all the makings of a classic. Time will tell.
All right, these two men respect each other. They're friends outside the ring. They are both WITM School of Pro Wrestling graduates, but both of them find themselves frustrated going into Hell in a Cell. Dalton Roush is the #1 contender to Universal Championship. At any other time, that would mean having a Universal Championship match on pay-per-view in the main event. However, Braun Strowman, weeks in advance, both in real life and in WITM, announced he would be cashing in his Money in the Bank contract for a Universal Championship singles match at Hell in a Cell, which means that he gets to jump the line and get the opportunity instead of Dalton Roush. Meanwhile, Corey won the Universal Championship at SummerSlam, defended it one day later and lost it on Raw. And while he says he's not making excuses for that loss, he is frustrated that not only does Strowman get to jump the line and get a title match before other people deserving of rematches, but the Universal title won't even be defended at 3 weeks in Super Showdown. But Corey says when that title is on the line again after tonight, he wants to be the man to get that rematch. But to do that, he will have to defeat the current #1 contender, Dalton Roush. Let's get our second matchup of the night underway.
Big-time singles matches on deck here in Byron. What should we expect to see here tonight?
Well, given the shape these superstars appear to be in here tonight, I fully expect to see one of the most competitive matches we've seen in a very long time.
Well, he definitely looks ready for what's ahead of him here tonight, that's for sure.
I agree with that, Michael. In fact, I don't remember the last time I saw him in better shape than he's in right now.
As these superstars get ready for Hell in a Cell, may I remind you that this structure stands more than 20 feet tall.
Just look at these competitors, guys, because it might just be the last time you see them.
Don't forget, guys, he's the date with the champion coming up in the very near future.
But he can't be worried about that now. He's got work to do here first.
There's the bell. The cell has been lowered. Let's get this WITM member versus WITM member matchup underway.
What's on the line here?
Of course, Corey, isn't really much of a rivalry, just two men airing out their frustrations. But Corey did throw a little bit of shade at Dalton earlier when he said, I'm getting my rematch next, and if you don't like it, just go back to Hollywood. Corey trying to make quick work of Dalton.
And he kicks out. Very nice.
And he powers out right away. Corey currently sits at number 3 in the Universal title rankings. Dalton sitting at number 1. So if Corey is to get that rematch and opportunity to become a 2-time Universal champion, he must get through Dalton Roush. Corey could likely become number 1 contender if he defeated Dalton tonight. Meanwhile, of course, Dalton is in a good position, in control of his own destiny as number 1 contender.
He has evil intentions in those eyes.
Dalton has a sledgehammer, bringing a weapon into play early, but changes his mind as he gets into the ring. Instead, he wants to use that top rope as a weapon and launch Corey halfway across the ring. Corey his last 2 matches were both title matches. They were both losses. Corey can recover tonight, pulling out some vintage moves there, hitting the savior kick. Corey
that could break a bone.
Looking to turn to the old guard maybe in order to get back to winning ways.
Slow a bit. As the number 1 contender,
Matted punches by Corey.
So many in the locker room.
There's just no way to prepare
shoulder block by Dalton with a reversal.
Anguish you go through when competing in a Hell in a Cell match.
Shoulder block by Corey.
I definitely admire his style in the ring.
Stomp to the leg.
Goes on, he has to remember that you don't get points for respect. Meaning,
there's another knee to the hip.
Less than usual if he wants to win this match.
Corey forces Dalton up. Irish up into the corner.
Hold on, guys. This isn't good.
Forces Dalton to the top turnbuckle. What does Corey have in mind here?
You can almost see
there's the top rope DDT by Corey. Corey once again has something in mind, trying to force Dalton into the corner or maybe the ropes. Instead, elects to put him in a seated position. But Dalton is going to reverse and get back to his feet. Dalton with a knee and a series of huge kicks to the chest of Corey. Now Dalton wants to make use of that sledgehammer. Apparently his strategy was to have it on hand for later, and now he drives it into the ankles of Corey.
Kicking right here.
Corey now plunges the handle of the sledgehammer into the chest of Dalton. Irish up into the corner.
When his strikes land,
turns him around, elbow to the back. There's another and another. Now a knee and a huge elbow to the chest of Dalton to send him down to the canvas. Now forces him up. Corey going for his signature maneuver, fade to black, targeting every single part of the body. One of the few moves in the game that does so.
Comes up big with the reversal.
A reversal by Dalton before Corey can capitalize and perhaps lock in the crossface. There's Dalton's own signature maneuver, the baby rock bottom. He goes straight into a cover, and Corey powers out at 2. Dalton in disbelief that he did not put Corey away there. Dalton will get to use his finisher immediately after the signature. Looking for his new finisher, the side of a bullet.
This is what makes
Corey reverses it. Now Corey will have a free signature or finisher in his arsenal.
Roush being put to the test. The number 1 contender.
Corey with a Russian leg sweep.
My advice to
stomp to the chest.
On respecting his opponent.
Face buster.
Defeating him.
Forces Dalton to his feet.
He wants it one more time.
Corey wants right away using that free signature. Fade to black. Dalton is busted open.
I'm just as surprised as you guys are.
Reversal by Dalton. Taunting Corey.
No question, he's feeling invincible.
Now Dalton going for his comeback sequence. This will score him a free signature maneuver.
Oh boy,
and he is successful.
This could be it.
And Dalton using that free signature, baby rock bottom,
He can do it here.
perfect position, center ring.
2. Wait, are we sure
And
that
Corey
that
powers
wasn't
out at 2.
Corey?
Dalton once again in shot.
Punishment, I can promise you that. He doesn't appear to be in a hurry to get up here.
I just don't think
Corey
he has
reverses.
it
That will break up Dalton's momentum and stop him from being able to capitalize with the side of a bullet.
Connects with a counter.
Uppercut by Dalton. Punch to the gut.
And he gets him
Reversal
with a
by
counter.
Corey.
He is a one-man gang in there.
Reversal by Dalton with a neck breaker. Will he look for side of a bullet now? No, instead he has another baby rock bottom signature maneuver, but not going for the cover right away this time.
Hellaciously physical match these gladiators have put.
That's 3
themselves
signatures
through.
for Dalton,
The
2 for
intensity of this
Corey.
has been
But Dalton is
there's the
busted
cover.
open.
Can he do it?
He goes for cover.
Barely
And again, Dalton in shock. He's
What a
asking himself what it's going to take to put away Corey. It's #1 contender versus #3 contender. This move may be able to do it if it hits this time. And it does. Side of a bullet
Here he goes
into a cover. Does Corey's woes continue? Yes, they do. Dalton Roush picks up a victory.
All over.
Uncle Sam taught him to shoot maybe a little too well. Finger on the trigger, loaded, ballin'. He hit the stick so full of rage and let the whole world know it. 6 feet away, they heard him say, "Oh God, don't let him pull it. Please God, don't let him pull it. How could you put us through it? His brother watched
Here
you
is
do
your
it.
winner, LT.
How could you take his life away? How could you be so
Right there. I don't make the matches, but if I did, I'd put these two back in the ring ASAP. What an amazing match.
And folks, just to confirm, yes, the San Antonio crowd really is as lively as they sound.
Alright, so for Dalton Roush, he does exactly what he needs to do. Defeats another top 5 contender. He'll remain #1 contender to the Universal Championship. Meanwhile, for Corey, he follows up his Universal title victory at SummerSlam with a 3rd straight loss. Corey's woes are going to continue.
Win or on a stretcher. Hell in a Cell is next.
And now it's a matchup that both Corey and Dalton were hoping to be in. We could have very well seen Corey versus Dalton Roush in this spot for the Universal title. Instead, it's Dean Ambrose, the man who answered Corey's Universal Championship Open Challenge on Raw and defeated him, ending Corey's title reign at 1 day, and the man who was able to jump the line and jump past Dalton and earn a Universal Championship match tonight via cashing in his Money in the Bank contract, Braun Strowman. And all champions retain tonight. Dean Ambrose remains Universal Champion. Every single champion that defended their title tonight has retained. Alright, so how do these results affect the rankings on Raw and SmackDown Live? Let's find out after this loading screen. Alright, rankings update time. We'll start off with the women. First, the Raw women. Alexa Bliss defeated Nikki Bella to remain Raw Women's Champion. Nikki Bella falls to #4. And so your Raw Women's rankings, champion Alexa Bliss, #1 contender Bayley, #2 Alicia Fox, #3 Ruby Riott, #4 Nikki Bella, #5 Ronda Rousey, #6 Sarah Logan, #7 Mickie James, #8 Dana Brooke, #9 Ember Moon, #10 Natalya, #11 Sasha Banks, #12 Liv Morgan, and #13 Brie Bella. In the SmackDown Women's rankings, Peyton Royce defeated Mandy Rose to remain SmackDown Women's Champion. Rose falls to number 2. And your SmackDown Women's rankings, the champion Peyton Royce, number 1 contender Sonya Deville, number 2 Mandy Rose, number 3 Charlotte, number 4 Zelina Vega, number 5 Becky Lynch, number 6 Carmella, number 7 Billie Kay, number 8 Asuka, number 9 Naomi, and number 10 Lana. Now the tag team rankings. We'll start off with the Raw Tag Team Division. The Revival defeated the Authors of Pain to remain Raw Tag Team Champions. Authors of Pain fall to number 3, and so your Raw Tag Team rankings. The champions, the Revival, number 1 contenders, the Ascension, number 2, the Shield, number 3, the Authors of Pain, number 4, the new stable consisting of Dolph Ziggler, Drew McIntyre, and Braun Strowman, the Dogs of War, number 5, Titus Worldwide, number 6, Heath Slater and Rhino, number 7, the B Team, and number 8, the new tag team of Bobby Roode and Chad Gable. Now the SmackDown Tag Team rankings. Sanity defeated the Usos to remain SmackDown Tag Team Champions. The Usos fall to number 2. And so your SmackDown Tag Team Championship rankings, the champions Sanity, number 1 contenders The New Day, number 2 the Usos, number 3 the Colognes, number 4 the Club, number 5 Rusev Day, number 6 the Bar. And now the mid-card titles on Raw and SmackDown. We'll start off with Raw's Intercontinental Championship. The Intercontinental title was not defended tonight, but there were still people within the rankings that competed. Dalton Roush defeated Corey. Dalton moves up to number 2. Corey falls to number 5. Dean Ambrose defeated Braun Strowman. Ambrose is Universal Champion, is not in these rankings. Strowman falls to number 13. And so your Intercontinental Championship rankings, the champion Bobby Lashley, number 1 contender Dolph Ziggler, number 2 Dalton Roush, number 3 Mojo Rawley, number 4 Mike Kanellis, number 5 Corey, number 6 Jinder Mahal, number 7 No Way Jose, number 8 Roman Reigns, number 9 Finn Balor, number 10 Kurt Hawkins, number 11 Baron Corbin, number 12 Seth Rollins, number 13 Braun Strowman, number 14 Zack Ryder, number 15 Elias, and number 16 Tyler Breeze. Now the U.S. title of SmackDown. Again, the U.S. title is not on the line tonight, but there were people within his rankings that competed. Rusev defeated Daniel Bryan. They swapped spots. Rusev's number 4, Daniel Bryan to number 5. Miz defeated Gerald. Miz remains number 1 contender. Gerald falls to number 8. AJ Styles defeated Shinsuke Nakamura. Styles is not in these rankings because he is WWE Champion. Nakamura falls to number 3. So your U.S. title rankings, the champion Andrade Cien Almas, number 1 contender The Miz, number 2 Big E, number 3 Shinsuke Nakamura, number 4 Rusev, number 5 Daniel Bryan, number 6 Shelton Benjamin, number 7 Ty Dillinger, number 8 Gerald, number 9 Jeff Hardy, number 10 Aiden English, number 11 R-Truth, number 12 Eric Young, and number 13 Samoa Joe. Now the major championships of Raw and SmackDown, starting with the Universal Championship. Dalton Roush defeated Corey. Dalton remains number 1 contender to Universal title. Corey falls to number 6. Dean Ambrose defeated Braun Strowman. Ambrose remains champion. Strowman falls to number 3. And so your Universal Championship rankings. The champion Dean Ambrose. Number 1 contender Dalton Roush. Number 2 Jinder Mahal. Number 3 Braun Strowman. Number 4 Roman Reigns. Number 5 Finn Balor. Number 6 Corey. And number 7 Seth Rollins. And while we're at doing rankings updates, why don't I update you on what's going on in the rankings for the WITM 5? Maybe I'll make a habit of doing this after every pay-per-view. Of course, you can also head to the, if I actually remember to update it regularly, you can head over to the WITM standing section of the WITM website as well to check up on what's going on in the WITM rankings off-screen. So let me just head to my percentage calculator here. So Dalton has competed in 11 matches since WrestleMania and has won 9 of them. That puts his winning percentage at 81.8. Very impressive record for Dalton Roush. Andrew Spudstrong has competed in 24 matches since WrestleMania. He has won 15 of them, but we are not going to count his non-title matches, so we're only going to count 15 out of 21 of his his 15 wins. So it'll be 15 wins out of 21 to calculate his win percentage. And his win percentage is 71.4. AI Master is 3-3. No calculator needed there. He's won 50% of his matches. Corey has wrestled 20 matches since WrestleMania and won 8 of them. So he has won exactly 40% of his matches. And Gerald has competed in 19 matches since WrestleMania and has won 7 of them. So his win percentage is 36.8. So that means your WITM rankings are in first place Dalton Roush with a record of 9-2. His second place Andrew with a record of 15-6-3. In third place AI Master with a record of 3-3. In fourth place Corey with a record of 8-12. And in fifth place Gerald with a record of 7-12. And with that, we can now advance to Monday Night Raw, where we see Corey and/or Dalton in action tomorrow night. Actually, I guess it's main event first. And Corey is pretty darn close to being eligible, but just barely by one spot is ineligible, so no matches. So we will not have a match on main event. Corey would be eligible according to Universal title rankings, where he sits in 6th. But the Intercontinental title rankings, he is 5th, and you need to be below 5 on each ranking to be eligible to compete on main event. If Corey loses his next match, he likely will start competing on main event once again. Anyways, we sim the card, so let's get you your results. Mickie James defeated Dana Brooke. And I forgot to book a Cruiserweight match for main event. I'll try to make up for it by maybe booking 2 next week. Mojo Rawley defeated Zack Ryder. And the Revival defeated the Authors of Pain in a rematch from Hell in a Cell. And how's that affect the rankings on Raw? We'll just do an abbreviated version of the rankings update because we just read all of them off, so I'll just let you know what the changes were. Mickie James moves up to number 6, Sarah Logan drops to number 7, Dana Brooke falls to number 9, and Ember Moon moves up to number 8, so just the bottom 4, or rather 6 through 9 changing. Now James is 6th, Logan is 7th, Ember Moon is 8th, and Dana Brooke is 9th. And the Intercontinental title rankings next. Mojo Rawley defeated Zack Ryder. Rawley moves up to number 2, which means Dalton Roush falls to number 3. Ryder falls to number 15, so Elias moves up to number 14. And the Raw Tag Team rankings. The Revival defeated the Authors of Pain. Revival remain champions. Authors of Pain fall to number 4. And Dogs of War move up to number 3. Now we can move on to Monday Night Raw and see if Corey and/or Dalton will be in action tomorrow night. And indeed, we will have Dalton in action tomorrow night. He's got a big opportunity. He'll be taking on the Intercontinental Champion, Bobby Lashley. That also means that should the Intercontinental title be on the line tomorrow night on Raw, Dalton will face Bobby Lashley for the Intercontinental title. So we'll either have Bobby Lashley versus Dalton Roush for the Intercontinental Championship, or Bobby Lashley versus Dalton Roush non-title match with an opportunity for Dalton to become number one contender to the Intercontinental title tomorrow night. Will Corey also be in action? He will not, so we will have one WITM match tomorrow, but it will be a big one. Either an Intercontinental Championship match or a non-title match with an opportunity for Dalton to become number one contender to the Intercontinental title tomorrow night. Bobby Lashley versus Dalton Roush. That is going to do it for episode 114 of WITM. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If you would like to become a WITM member yourself, check out the link in the description for a link to the WITM website, where you can find WITM information, including how to join, and get your own custom character for free, with custom movesets, custom entrances, custom storylines that works with WWE 2K19 just a couple weeks away. Now is a great time to get in on the action. Also, we started our Twitter back up. There's going to be a link in the description for that as well. If you want to get the latest WITM news, WITM updates, match announcements, stream schedule changes, etc., check out our Twitter as well. That link is in the description. Speaking of stream schedule changes, WWE has announced in real life that 205 Live, the Cruiserweight division, will be moving from Tuesday nights following SmackDown to Wednesday nights at 7 o'clock Eastern prior to NXT. That means Tuesday nights, that means we have a change to our streaming schedule. Tuesday nights at 11 o'clock will now be SmackDown Live exclusively, and Wednesday nights will now be a 2-for-1 special, 205 Live and NXT. If you would like to check up our updated streaming schedule, that too is on our WITM website on the home page. Again, the link for that is in the description. And now with that, that is going to do it for episode 114. We'll see you tomorrow night at 11:30 for our Monday Night Raw stream. Either Bobby Lashley and Dalton Roush for the Intercontinental title, or Bobby Lashley and Dalton Roush in non-title action, an opportunity for Dalton to become number one contender. Until then, this is Corey with WITM Cal Wrestling, signing off.